live. I got the camera set up a little bit better tonight. Still a little crazy, but hi, I am Tricia Winkler. I am the creator, founder, and owner of Once a Month Meals, and also just a regular person who eats every day. Every day I eat. And when I created Once a Month Meals, I created it for my family, and I created it to make healthy and home-cooked meals for my kids in mass, so I could put it in my freezer for my family so that I could enjoy time with my kids. My kids are older. I'm no longer married, and so therefore I have a lot of times where I spend on my own, and but I still do freezer cooking. I still have I'm in an apartment, but I still have a small chest freezer in my laundry room. You can even hear the laundry going. We've got lots of things buzzing right now. I still do once a month meals. I still do freezer cooking. It has just changed. And honestly, our audience is so diverse. Yes, we have a lot of families, but this cooking system, this meal prep system is for everyone. And it's the thing you didn't know you needed. It's the meal prep you didn't know you needed, because whether you like to cook or not, I'm guessing that you don't have time to cook for yourself on the regular every night. You'd like to, but who has time for that? Things come up, meetings come up, life comes up, all the things come up. And some of the things, and the last thing you want to be doing is cooking, right? So, or maybe you do like to cook, but for me, so where in the past freezer meals allowed me the time and space to spend with my family and to not be in the kitchen as much and help with after school activities and to spend time with a spouse, now it offers me the freedom to do the things I love. So I still make single serving freezer meals because frankly my kids don't like half the things that I like. And half the time I'm eating by myself. And so I can just go to my freezer and pick one of the freezer meals that I have and reheat it. And it's a home cooked meal that I've made with ingredients that I know and love and I'm not allergic to. And I can intuitively eat this way. I don't know if any of you are intuitive eaters. I would call myself an intuitive eater. And an intuitive eating to me is I eat what sounds good and what feels good and what my body wants. And I still do once a month meals cooking. So last night I did the prep. I have the sheets here. I have picked about 5 main entrees that I'm gonna cook. And I have 2 main entrees and a dessert tonight. So I did all of the assembly. So I chose that with the once a month meal system. So in the once a month meal system, you can choose from our database of over 13,500 recipes. And I did that. I set the servings to 3 because it doubles everything. That means I'm getting at least 6 servings of each of these recipes. So I've done, if you're not into math, we usually do the math for you, but let me just do that math for you. I am making 5 different main entrees where I'm going to get 6 servings of each. So I am going to have 30 single serving meals when I'm finished. Now, Once a Month Meals designs it so I can do it all in one fell swoop, one afternoon, one evening. However, I am splitting it up over a few days because that's what I have time for this week and that's what makes sense, and I'm eating as I go. So last night I did the prep and I did that live here and using the Once a Month Meals prep sheet. So I think it's here somewhere. It's buried in my notes. So we give you the grocery list, and it's going to show you what to buy at the grocery store in the quantities that you need to buy them in the grocery store. So you're not buying cups of diced onions in the grocery store. You're not buying you're not buying tablespoons of butter. You're not buying cups of barbecue sauce. You're buying ounces of barbecue sauce, right? So the system puts the grocery list in whatever quantity is that you are going to be seeing at the grocery store. And so that's the grocery list. And then you can come home, which is what I did. I did this yesterday late afternoon. And then in the evening, after my dance class, I came home and did the prep sheet. So the prep instructions are what needs to be cooked, how do you set yourself up for success? So what needs to be diced, what needs to be chopped, and you do that all at once. It gives you what to do and the checklist to do it and the quantities that you're doing it in. So they just have that ready. So now all I'm doing is I'm assembling these recipes either all at once or over the next couple nights, is pulling those prepped ingredients out of the refrigerator and making the recipes. So it makes everything so less complicated. So one of the things that I need to do is check the oven for the dessert because the timer went off, and so I need to see if that is actually done or not. So give me one moment. If you have any chat questions or want to just say hi, I would love that. Feel free to throw that in the chat. This is not the berry cobbler, the berry pie bars. They are done. All right, took them out, and I will show you those in a minute. But I want to talk about these and this these are chicken fajitas. I did it as a sheet pan. So I used one of our sheet pan meals, and this is a meal I have on the regular. I didn't do it in my last cooking day, but it's back in this rotation. That's the other thing I love, is that like, I don't like to eat the same thing over and over again. And as a single person, you're the washer. So like, if I make chicken fajitas tonight, I don't want to be eating them for 6 days. Well, guess what? I'm going to freeze them in single serving containers so that I can you guys hear me? This is hilarious. This is totally real life. I'm not stopping the washer for this video because this is life. This is my life. Is this your life? Now the cat's around. I see a comment, I'm gonna go look at it. So I make these up, and so then I can have these chicken fajitas on whatever night, and then I'm gonna have 4 other types of meals that I can rotate between. And I honestly have a few meals left from my last cooking day. Hey Marty! Thank you for waving hi. I have some meals from my last cooking day, and so I'll still be able to rotate these in as well. So really excited about this. But this one is, I baked the chicken up. I actually shredded it before I got on camera. So I use chicken tenderloins, and about 1 tenderloin is a meal for me. And then bell peppers and onions. So I cook that up, and I'm just gonna show you. These are, so I was supposed to get 6, but I'm getting 9 out of this. So I'm making, because I ate one for dinner, and there's 7 of them here. So yeah, I guess 8. So I'm gonna divide these bell peppers, and then I would just freeze this. And then what I do is I get the single serving, you know those rice packets, the single serving rice packets? I feel like that's the best invention for single people. Like, who was the brilliant person that came up with that? Because nobody wants to cook rice every night. This is my favorite cilantro lime one. Not sponsored. And I'll make this, so what I'll do is, and this is what I did tonight for dinner, is this will have been in the freezer. I'm gonna put it in the microwave for 3 minutes on the day that I'm gonna eat it, lunch, dinner, whatever. Home from the gym and I need a protein hookup. And then I make one of these rices and I put it, and then this is hot and this is hot. And so I put cheese, whatever toppings I want to melt right there. And then I put the rice on top, and then sour cream, tomatoes, lettuce, whatever it is that you want to put in your fajitas. And I don't ever eat it in tortillas, funny enough. I usually eat it with chips or eat it with a fork. So sort of like nachos, and I love it. And a lot of times, sometimes it's even one of these ends up being 2 meals, or a meal and a snack. So it's like, this is almost 1.5 servings for me. So I'm gonna do an initial add add of these and then see where I can add more. I go ahead and shred the chicken. Go ahead and shred the chicken up now, opposed to when it's frozen, and I've microwaved it, because then it thaws. It cooks up faster in the microwave. So I definitely can be way more generous with these bell peppers in each of these meals. So again, this is one of my staple, and this is me creating single serving meals. And in the once a month meal system, all the lunches are any lunch, anything that's categorized as a lunch is in this category of you cook it on your cooking day and you freeze it in single serving containers, because the assumption is that you're having lunch on your own at work or at home. Like, we know a lot of us work at home now. And you know, those of you who have had the experience of working at home now that we've gone through COVID, which is a lot more people, you realize like you're not just sitting around and you don't necessarily have time to make yourself lunch just because you're at your house. So anyway, so there I have 7 single serving chicken fajita meals, and I've already eaten one for dinner. So that's 8. And so this is pretty cooled off, so I don't have to let this cool anymore. So I just put the lids on, and these will be ready. These containers you can get at the Dollar Tree or Kroger. Well, your grocery store, your local grocery store has them. The least expensive place to get them is Dollar Tree. Yeah, I would say that's true. They were about the same price, to be honest with you, because I picked up some at store. All right. Look at this. This makes me so happy. Like, so happy. Cooking meals for me. If you have a household that's like, you know, even teenagers, this is a great way to make, I mean, it's sort of like making yourself lean cuisines. It's just a great way to have meals on hand for whomever, or if you eat in cycles, you know, like we're not always on the same schedule. Everybody has stuff going on. So this is a mystery. Looks like it needs to be. If you follow our Instagram at all, I had posted a picture of the ingredients in the pot and seeing if anybody could guess what it was. And you can't necessarily see it. And I'm gonna pick y'all up and show you that. There it is. I've got these 2 ingredients to still add to it. Anybody have any guesses? If you've followed Once a Month Meals. I'm gonna show you it again after I get it in there. Looking for, like, what did I do with my recipes? I know the cream cheese goes in there. I'm just not sure how much cheese goes in there. It's a soup. That's a clue. It's a soup. I haven't had this one in years. It's been at least 2.5 years since I've had this recipe. There is an Instant Pot version. There is a slow cooker version. I don't know if there's a stovetop version. Why would you do anything on the stovetop when you could do it in your slow cooker or your Instant Pot, right? All right, I won't lick my hands on camera. I didn't do it. I didn't do it, you germ police. I didn't do it. Germ police, stay away. I'm the only one eating these meals. All right, let's see. I'm looking for a recipe. Looking for a recipe. You don't want to hear me sing. I promise you that. All right, 1/3 of a cup. 1/3 of a cup? Really? Just 1/3 of a cup? surely we need more than that. It's probably per. So it calls for pepper jack cheese. However, I have a red chili pepper allergy, which is also one of the reasons I freezer cook, because most single serving freezer meals won't work for me. So if you don't know this, when food product companies make products and the ingredient has less than 2% of any particular ingredient, which tends to be most of the spices, they can just list spices. Well, the problem when you have a red pepper allergy is spices doesn't tell you if one of those spices is red pepper. And so therefore you can't have anything with the word spices because it will not be good for your system. So I can't do that. Plus, making your own single serving meals is free of all of the additives and preservatives and everything that even the best, healthiest freezer meal companies have to put in their foods in order to make them shelf stable. So I don't have to worry about making them shelf stable. I get to make them, either do you, when you make them yourself. So this particular recipe, in fact, it probably needs to be put, cancel, saute, uses sour cream, and then it typically uses pepper jack cheese. I'm using Colby Jack in my recipe, and I'm obviously going to give it more than 1/3 of a cup. Cheese is good. I like cheese. That's the other thing. The things that you have preferences for, you can make adaptations to the recipes and change them up. So, all right. This is jalapeno popper chicken chili. That's what this is. Jalapeno popper chicken chili. It is the best of the best. It is so good. So it is basically a very creamy, and you know, a lot of times people ask us about freezing dairy or dairy recipes with dairy in them. There is no problem with them. Seriously, think about this. If Lean Cuisine can figure it out, if Stouffer's can figure it out, and they can do it, you can do it. So we tend to defy the rules, and yes, it could end up a little bit less smooth when you're reheating it in the whether it's the microwave or the stove, but for the most part, you won't even know the difference. Now, this recipe also usually you serve it up with bacon on it. And because I'm just eating these meals and I don't want to freeze the bacon separate and use the bacon separately, I'm just actually going to put the bacon on the meals as we make them. So again, the serving quantity said that I should at least get 6 out of this. The servings, a lot of times, are based on, so all of our recipes, every single one of them, some of them you don't want to know this, have nutrition facts on them. And they are the USDA nutrition facts. We don't use most recipe sites, most places use like customer curated or general nutrition data. We don't do that. We use the USDA's. That's what the nutritionists use. If you have a nutritionist or a dietitian, those are the set criteria and nutrition facts that they're using. That's what we have linked up to our system so that you're getting the most accurate sodium, fat, sugar counts, and that is how one of the structures of our system. So you can rest assured, and those nutrition facts have been checked by our own dietitian as well to make sure that they are accurate. So I'm waiting for this cream cheese to melt. There's this little bit of cream cheese that just is refusing to melt. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. My arm's getting a little tired. The other thing I made tonight was, these are, can't you tell, they're apple? They're apple pie bars. So in the system, in the Once with Meal system, they are listed as oatmeal apple pie bars. They're gluten-free. I'm gluten-free. Pretty sure this is a recipe I created. All right, this one isn't listed as gluten-free, but I used all gluten-free items. So it has rolled oats and flour, and I just used gluten-free rolled oats and flour. I did not want to take the time to cut apples and to saute them down, so I actually just bought a bag of frozen berries, so I think they were blackberries, cherries, and blueberries, and I just warmed that mix up and made berry pie bars. And so those are here. Now, I will put, do you know those like kid cuisine meals and the little like, even the Hungry Man's, right? They always have a little dessert pocket right there. Yeah, I like to do that too. I actually probably won't put them, so some of the meals, hold on just a second. None of the meals I'm doing tonight, but some of the meals that I'm doing the next couple nights, I put in these type of containers. So we have the main entree, and then I usually do sides. And I usually do 2 pockets of vegetables, or I can do a pocket of vegetables and like the dessert. So I could put the pie bars here and the vegetables here, and so then it's all defrosting together. However, like obviously these kind of things don't have room for that. And I don't know what it is, but I love for my meals to have a little bit of a sweet on the end of them. And I'm not like, but not a full on dessert and like, I don't know, I don't want it to be super sugary, but I just wanted to take the edge off of my meal or to balance out my meal. And so that's why I made the pie bars, and they're berry pie bars. So I feel like there's at least fruit in there. Actually, aside from the butter, they're really kind of healthy. So that is kind of my solution for my sweet fix that I like to have at the end of a meal. So, all right, cream cheese, you need to go. This is a hot saute. All right, so these containers are, sorry, my eyes, 2.9 cups. So a ladle is about a cup, I think. So I'm gonna try doing 2 ladles per container to start with and see what that looks like and where that gets me. I still see a chunk of cream cheese, but you know what? When I reheat this, that will also melt down, so I'm not real worried about it. Again, this is jalapeno popper chicken chili. It's one of the 5 main entrees that I'm making as single serving meals for myself to have in the freezer. I would say this is about 3/4 or half a cup. I wouldn't say it's. I'm gonna add 1 more ladle to each of them, and I think that will actually be a good 6. I'm gonna let these cool a little bit before I put the lids on them. One of the tricks to freezer meals and not having freezer burn is, one of the reasons you get freezer burn is you put the lid on now, all that steam is going to just sit on the top of that lid and condense and then freeze, and then that becomes your freezer burn. And so in order to prevent freezer burn, allowing these to come to at least room temperature or stop steaming, or if you want to quicken the process, you could put them in the refrigerator for a little while before you put the lid on them. But that will get one more. I'll get one more, at least one more out of this. So, was supposed to give me at least 6. Looks like I'm going to get 7 out of it, which is funny. Got 7 out of those. 7 times 7, so 2 7s. Got 77. 7 7 tonight. Sorry, the steam is hitting my hand. Don't try this at home, kids. If you haven't worked in a restaurant and haven't taught your hands to be steel when handling hot stuff, don't do that. Okay, so now I have this one. Could use a little bit more. All right. These give bacon. I mean, anything with bacon is amazing, right? So instead of freezing the bacon and serving the bacon on top, I'm just gonna put the bacon on now. I forget what else I needed bacon for. Bacon. This soup is very much an umami type thing. Fatty, sweet, salty, like it's got all the flavors in it, which is what makes it so good. All right, so I'm just gonna allow these to cool a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna put them in my freezer. And those are gonna go in my freezer. So tonight we have covered, so last night I covered prep. Tonight we did chicken fajitas, jalapeno popper chicken chili. I think I'm taking this one day at a time, seeing how I feel. I have a workout tomorrow, so I may be jello tomorrow evening. If I am, what do I have left to make? That is a good question. I'm so glad you asked. I just like talking to myself. I have a pasta bake that I'm doing. So I always like to have a pasta on hand, and it's kind of odd. Last time I think I had like 3 pastas, and this time that's the only pasta. Sorry. Did that. I have Instant Pot cracked chicken with broccoli that I'm doing either tonight or tomorrow. Well, one of the next 2 days. And then I also am making, it's an oven country steak and cheesy potatoes. So when I do the single serving containers for that, so the pasta bake will probably go in here with veggies and or dessert. The oven country steak will be here, and then I'll put the special potatoes and probably a green vegetable as well. And I just use frozen, so join me tomorrow night, or make sure that you subscribe, turn on your notifications. That way it'll notify you when I go live, when I choose to go live tomorrow. You also can follow us on Instagram at Once a Month Mom, Once a Month Meals. Once a Month Mom, oh my gosh, it's been 10 years. And I'll also try to notify you there. But tomorrow night, I'm gonna be portioning up meals in this. So oven country steak with special potatoes and a little dessert, and then a pasta bake, and then Instant Pot cracked chicken. I don't know if I'll do all 3 tomorrow night. One of the things that I kind of love spreading it out. So one of the things that I did tonight, and one of the reasons I didn't do all of the recipes is I made the chicken fajitas and I ate one of them for dinner and then froze the rest. And then I was also making the jalapeno popper chicken chili. The beautiful thing is Once a Month Meals gives me a step-by-step instructions. If you don't want to figure out when to do them when and what order, we give you, there's actually efficiency order to these recipes. So based on the recipes you choose, it gives you the maximum efficiency order for you cooking those meals in your kitchen. Because we don't want to assume that you know or are organized. This is great for you ADD folks because it keeps you organized and on task and moving along. And there is an efficiency order to these recipes if you want to maximize your time in the kitchen by being in the kitchen less. So again, thank you for joining me tonight. Marty, it was nice to see you. Everybody else, it was also nice to see you. If you're watching this on replay, please make sure you tune in, follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. TikTok, it's Cook with OAMM, so that you can continue to engage with us and do freezer single serving meals. I love you all.